Hello guys, today I'm going to show you how to make or start up your own Kirby tapestry. Oh my god, I found it, and it's like the same meme where he's holding, a weapon. And he's super cute. I was like, oh my god, I need to make it into a tapestry. And well, here we are. I'm going to be using a Tunisian Simple Stitch, which I believe, in my very humble opinion, that it creates better tapestries. It refines the edges. It really does get the overall shape, better. And I think it's a lot more cleaner. Especially, well, I think that it's a lot easier because you always work onto the actual front or the right side of your project. In regular crochet, you always turn your project. In Tunisian Simple Stitch or a Tunisian crochet, you always, it does take a little bit of a time because you go forwards and then actually you go backwards, but you always work onto the front side, and you don't need to worry about hiding your edges or carry your yarn. You practically just need to worry about having your tension right. So excuse me for all my yapping. And for starters, we're actually going to chain 30. So now with all of your 30 chains done, we are going to work onto the back side of our chains. So this is our front, and we're going to turn it. I'm going to turn it ever so slightly so you can see that we're going to work onto those bumps that you see right here. And we're going to skip that very first bump and go straight to the next one. So we just insert our hook, we yarn over, we pull, and we keep our stitch in our hook. We do that all the way down our row. Please make sure you actually count your stitches, because it's rather a medium-sized project and it's easy to get your stitches all mixed up. And of course, we always want to have the right amount of stitches, because going back, it's going to be a little too painful. So just making sure you actually count your stitches as many times as you need to make sure that you actually have your 30 stitches in your hook. And now that we have all of our stitches in our hook, as you can see, I'm actually using I own a Tunisian hook, but I believe that if you actually scrunch up your project just a little bit, you'll probably be able to fit this project or this medium-sized project in a regular crochet hook. So don't fret if you don't have this absolutely massive crochet hook. But just make sure you actually have your tension right. So not too together, not to scrunch up, or not too far apart. Just an overall, good tension. And now as I told you before, we have a forwards and then we have a backwards. So we're going to chain 1 onto the very last stitch. And we're going to yarn over. And we're going to go through 2 of our stitches. And again, going through 2 and 2 and 2 all the way down our row. For our next row, we are going to do 5 stitches in this background color. I'm gonna call it background color because it's the color of our background. Always keeping in mind that this stitch that we always have on our hook counts as 1. And we're going just to work onto the front posts of our previous row. So we yarn over and we pull our yarn. Again, only working onto those front posts of our previous row, pulling our yarn up. And again, one more time for a total of 5 purple stitches. And we get to introduce next color. I'm going to use this red yarn, and it's going to, as you saw, we just yarn over like we would with our background color, and we continue to do that 2 more times. And that's actually it for our second color, and the rest of our row should be with this background color. So the only thing you need to do is making sure that this kind of spare yarn is nice and loose. And we continue with the rest of our row. So now, as always, we always chain 1 onto the very last stitch, and we pull through 2 and 2. And 2 and 2 until we have a color change. So here, the only thing that you need to remember is that if you have 2 different color stitches in your hook, you always use that second color stitch. So in this case, we'll just drop our background color, pick up our second color, and pull through 2 of our stitches. Making sure you always correct this gap. I always end up with a little gap in between colors. Just pull the first color and your attention should be all corrected. And we continue to pull and pull again until you of course have 2 different color stitches, always using that second color stitch. So we drop our first color, pick up our second color, and we pull through 2, always correcting that first color. And you continue to do that. Also making sure you have your carry yarn nice and loose. I'll do one more row with you guys. And we have 4 of this background color. And 7 of this red color. And again, the rest of our row is background color. Again, chaining 1 onto the very last stitch and continuing with our previous work. I know it doesn't look like much, but if you trust the process, you'll get a beautiful, very beautiful tapestry, especially when it comes to like these special like memes and kind of like funny. I just want them to be like crystal clear, very crisp onto like the edges. As you can see, we don't get like that, you know, warping that kind of regular crochet has. I apologize, it's not a full tutorial, but I generally like when a quote-unquote tutorial gives me like the tools of how to do it myself. Like I already know the stitch, I already have the pattern that that it's always down below in the description. Oh, you can always take a screenshot of the pattern that I'm following. This pixel art is super cute, and doing it myself. So I really do apologize. It's not a full tutorial. Those do take a lot of time, but now you actually already have the tools to make it yourself.